it's just it's very sad. I think we've just lost a great man and a great teammate, and obviously a brother and a son, and a good friend, and he's probably the most competitive and probably the greatest athlete that I've ever played footy with. He could have been anything. He chose footy, but he could have been a professional soccer player, he could have been a rugby player, he could have been there's so many sports. He was just an athlete, all-round athlete, and single figure handicap golf, towards the end. He just could do everything. But unfortunately, he had a body. He did a knee when he was 19, and in those days when you did a knee, it was tough to get back from, and most players never played again. But he just kept putting himself out there, and he accomplished great things despite his physical incapabilities.
It was another knee problem that cut short his career as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just kept coming, because when you did a knee back in those days, you sort of you're put in a cast in a plaster for 10 months or whatever, and the knee was never the same, and I had to work through a lot to get it working again, and bending, and the things that Sean did on the footy field. He was such a courageous player that he put himself in and he was playing against the toughest, the biggest, the strongest, week in, week out, and so it took its toll, and the injuries took its toll, but it didn't stop him,
As a fullback, I remember him being incredibly dependable. He was just always there where he needed to be, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He's because his speed was incredible, and his power. Power in his thighs and hips. He just wasn't afraid of anyone. His courage at the ball. He was never a dirty player. He never, didn't look for fights around like that. But he hit hard, and I always remember. We had a short period again. It might have been 6 games, and within those 6 games, he had to play Lockett one week, Dunstall next week, and Ablett, the next. And these guys were on fire. They were at the top of their game, and he would have kept them to probably in total 5 goals. I remember Ablett only got 1 goal, and he kicked it in the last minute of the game, and I walked it off the ground with Sean, and we'd won the game, and he was in tears. He was so disappointed that he had let him kick a goal when because he just put his heart and soul into it, and and for this guy to kick this goal, lock it right at the end, he was just devastated, because he took so much pride in what he did, and the competitiveness, and he just wanted to be the best he could be, and he wanted to give the most he could to the team on the day.
This was also during the period when Melbourne finally made the finals again after more than 20 years. What did that mean to him?
Oh, look, we all, that era, the late 80s and early 90s, we had I suppose, mixed success. We were one of those teams, I think Geelong probably felt the same way at that time. We played in a lot of finals, we played in a grand final, and we were probably good enough to win one, but we didn't. And that's, the story of a lot of players' lives, but, us particularly, because we were in the mix for a long time, and we were in the mix like Geelong were. They lost those, I think it was 3 grand finals. So, we played a lot of footy together, and we played a lot of footy with Sean.
Jim, what about your relationship with Sean, the Irish experiment, as it was known, your relationship with him?
Yeah, look, when I first came to Australia, Sean took me under his wing in a sense, and he used to drive me everywhere. I couldn't drive, and as I said before, he was gifted at everything he did. He was even amazing in a car. He scared the hell out of you. But I remember going to a game once, I was in the 9 competition and we were running late. Man, I didn't need to warm up. My adrenaline was running that fast and that high. But but he was gifted at everything he did. Every sport he played, there was only one sport he was no good. He couldn't swim. He just could not swim. But every other sport, he was just so gifted and competitive, and and yet he was fair. He never drank, never smoked, never got involved in anything but honest integrity. From the day he was born, and he gave everything. And unfortunately, he played 150 games, which is a great feat. But at the same time, he should have been a 250 game player, only for his injuries. And he played state footy, and I played with him when we played for Australia and Ireland, and he just had mountains of talent, and would have been he would have played professional soccer without a doubt, or he could have played on a pro golf probably tour. He just could do everything.
The way you talk about him, Jim, was there a special bond between you two, do you feel?
Yeah, look, well,
compared to other teammates?
Yeah, well, look, we arrived together. Well, he arrived a couple of years before me, and I suppose he wore the path. Like he did all the things that I didn't have to do for the first time, in a sense. He'd been there, done that, and it made it easier for me. And he introduced me to people. And while as football went on, I suppose we started off really close mates, and then you drift. Life. You have different jobs, you have different families, and so on. And then what happened in the end, it was just devastating. Just to see such a competitor and a man end up getting cancer, and the way it just took the life out of him so fast. It's just, and obviously there's a lesson for everyone in it, but God, no one should go that quick and in that way. It's just it was just horrible.
This is obviously a great blow to his family. What does his loss mean for his friends and for the club?
Oh, look, it's a big loss for his family, obviously, and it's a big loss for any great player is a loss for the club, and particularly one that's so young. Like I'm only a couple of years younger, and and obviously I can relate a little bit to what Sean's been through, but it's it's devastating, and it forces us all to reflect, and how how human we are, and it's going to be a tough week for the family, and his family are from his mum's come back from overseas, and his sisters, and it's tough, but it's life, and they'll carry on, and they'll look at it, because they do look after each other, and they'll regroup, and I'm sure eventually they'll be better for the experience. But short term, it's going to be a tough time, and and the best thing we can do is support them and be there, if they need it.
You alluded to it there, but is this any more poignant for you than it would be otherwise because of the health issues you've had?
Well, probably because I probably can relate to part of it. Although everyone has it, anyone that's had cancer or has cancer has a different journey. It's all different. But when you're on it, you face the same, eventuality, and so I'm sure Manny would have similar thoughts, and Sean's, would have gone through all of that, and I spoke with him along the way, and and but I think, and Sean would probably say the same thing, that it does. It takes you to places that you wouldn't normally go, and you probably find something in yourself that you wouldn't be forced to confront, and also you discover, you know, what is important and what has real meaning in life, and I watched Sean at the end, and you know, he found peace, you know, towards the end, and yeah, but it's you know, it's just very sad, and you know, we've lost a great man, a great teammate, and you know, a great family man, and you know, and a great son, and brother, and I just feel, and I'm, you know, genuinely just, it's just really sad. It's happened so soon, so sudden, and a lot of people, you know, it's just happened. Like, people will be finding out for the first time. Not just that he's passed away, but for some people they wouldn't have even known how sick he was, and you know, it's a shock. It's a shock for the football world.
And how are you feeling yourself at the moment?
Oh, look, it's not really about me, you know. It's about the family, and you know, I just feel very sad for everyone that's been close to Sean and that's supported him along the way. You know, because he's had to do it really hard. For anyone that's had cancer, he's done it the hard way. You know, there's no doubt about it, and it's like some of the jobs he had to do on the football field. He never got the easy ones. He always got the toughest, and he took them all on with you know, with huge courage and bravery, and with a smile, and he never complained, and he just went about it, and he went about it his way, and he gave everything. He absolutely gave everything, and I would say, you know, but without a doubt, he was the most courageous player I played with, and you know, and gifted, without a doubt.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks very much.